and how to cornrow in the pattern. Also using extensions with your cornrows to sew your extensions on. Okay? So we can add hair to your natural hair to make it more sturdy. Okay? And for those of you that does not know how to cornrow, and cornrow is like the worst thing to you in the world, I have another technique that I have to show you on the side after I get everybody started with the basic cornrow and starting the stitching. Okay? So I can show you something else so that way you won't be discouraged on cornrow. Okay? I just wanted to show you a few pictures first. This young lady is my best friend. Her hair, you can't really see it, but her hair is sewn in, the entire thing. And she has an invisible part that's sewn in. Is her name Penny? No, Stacy. Yeah. And I apologize. This is my daughter. I knew that I was doing this class, so I had to buy her some leaves so I could practice on her head to take pictures so that way I can have a clean visual for you all. Okay? So these are cornrows that I did in a pattern. She has hair sort of like, what's your name back there? Standing? No, sitting. Yeah, rolling your eyes right there. Lisa? Yeah. And I did put a little bit of hair addition into her hair, like the synthetic hair. I did do a little bit.
You mean within the braid?
Huh?
Within the braid, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the reason why she has a part down the middle is because she wanted a center part. And that's after I got half the way done with the stitching on her hair. And that's afterwards, and it's all sewn in. So she has an invisible part with the sewing. And this is another young lady. When I worked in the salon, I did her hair. She has a sew-in invisible part, but she just came in for a shampoo afterwards. So you can kind of see like the parting separating a little bit. It's not on that picture. But it was separating a little bit. So this is another way I cornrow to sew in with a part. Because sometimes you have guests that wanted to look as natural as possible. Want people to think it's theirs, okay? And she's actually getting a curly hair extension. She has no edges, so she has no perimeter. And that's the finished look.
What does no edges, no perimeter mean? What do you?
No hairline.
Okay.
Thin
It's
now,
gone.
like thin, right? Hair is hers is gone.
Okay.
So let me show you.
You have to really break down for me because I don't know anything about this.
Okay. So you see right on the sides that all you see is like little fuzz around the hairline. She actually has
Receiving.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you so much.
And so this is her sewing afterwards. This is another young lady I sew in her hair. She actually does not, she only has hair an inch away from her hairline and nothing in the top. And just enough to put in the ponytail in the back. So I had to do a net and I had to do tree braids. Tree braid cornrow.
Is that due to her hairstyle or is she?
Her twin sister pulled out her extensions, her micro braids, and caused her head.
Ooh.
So she has no hair, and she can only wear extensions now. She can't even wear her own natural hair.
Oh my gosh.
So this is her sew-in on.
Sisterly love.
This is her sew-in on the neck. Okay.
What are you attaching the cap to?
I'm sorry.
What are you attaching the cap to? The bottom?
The net. I added on to the cornrows because I tree braided, meaning I let some of the hair out of the cornrows to make her some hair, so I can have a base to sew the extensions on. Yeah.
She didn't let you take it before pictures?
No.
Oh, no, that ain't gonna happen.
I would have to just sneak and do that.
Yeah.
This is my daughter again. She has a sew-in as well, and it's an invisible part. None of her hair is left out, and it's not glued in. And this young lady is Erica. She only has hair additions in between her hair. I braided the entire back out, and I left the top part out to cover it up so her hair can grow back because she had a whole lot of damaging from braids and stuff. Yes.
How long does it take you to put cornrows over someone's whole head?
Approximately, if I'm, probably about 45 minutes.
I'm thinking it's gonna take me about 4 hours.
Yeah. And it takes me about 45 minutes to do a cornrow. That's why I'm gonna show you how to add extensions without cornrowing as well.
And do you consider French braiding a cornrow just as small?
French braiding is inside.
Yeah, that's what, okay.
So,
we
but
were
you can,
having
if you can,
a discussion
listen,
about it.
you can actually French braid in a row around the head. I normally do that for guests that has really thick hair, so it won't be so bulky.
Yeah.
The braids
Since I
won't be
do
so
French
bulky.
braid, I just, for
Well,
some
if you
reason.
can French braid, I can show you how to sew it in.
Okay.
All right? Oh, and this is the separation, because she came in like a month and a half after she had her hair done. She still didn't want to take it out, so we shampooed it and it was just separating a little bit. And that's just the back of her hair. And this young lady, she came to me for about 3 years, always got a sew in, and her hair is on a net as well. And she does have an invisible part. That's it. I just wanted to show you all those pictures so that way you can get a visual on what to do. Okay. If you all will come up front. Jump in. Like with the hair addition. Sometimes you can braid the hair going around in a circle pattern.
That's why you don't want to stay like.
If you want your guest hair to look as natural as possible, and you want to leave out some of the hairline, you can leave about a ½ inch of hair out, the perimeter, just so it can look as natural as possible. Okay? And sometimes you want to just add extensions in for fullness. Okay? So what I'm going to do is twist this hair up out of the way. And then I'm going to clip it. And then again, I'm going to leave out about a ½ inch of hair. If the hair was really fine and dense, meaning you can see straight through the hairline, you probably want to leave out enough hair that would cover like the palms of your hand. Not that much, but just enough to cover your extensions, okay? And sometimes your guest does not want their hairline out, so you can pretty much braid everything up if you like, okay?
Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they like their hairline out?
Yeah.
Sometimes, if they're working out, what have you, they don't want to have to deal with their own hair. So that's the reason why they get extensions. Some people just want the extensions for fullness. So that way they leave their hair out so that you will not be able to tell that it's extensions. Deborah, if you need to, jump in there.
Okay, and also they leave their hair out in case they want to wear their hair back.
Right.
And also around the hairline, if she wants to wear her hair up in a ponytail, you would leave that hair out around the perimeter so that when she pulls it up in a ponytail, she'll have enough hair to cover the extensions.
So you can do all the way around?
You can leave the hair out all around, you know, yes.
Can't you leave it out of the part too?
You can leave it out in the part as well.
If you want to cover it up, yes.
Did you bring a net so they'll know what you're talking about as far as a net? Okay. all right.
Oh, do we need a
Yes,
net?
I know she was talking about a net.
You
A
don't
net-
need it. You don't need it today, but I can definitely show you how to use it. But this is your net. Okay.
Like she showed that one young lady with all of her hair braided down. A lot of times we would take that net and sew it over the whole thing. We would lay it on the head and sew it around the perimeter. And then we would sew the hair to that. That makes it last even longer.
Miss Deborah, did you bring your halo pieces in, or no?
I didn't. Not even.
And I'm showing halos in the daytime.
Huh?
You show how to make halos in the
Really?
Really
Yeah,
nice
thank
of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, you can have
But
some
I can,
competition.
like, I still show you all. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have so much on my mind. I just want to show you everything, but I can't. I don't have enough time.
We need you to get it off your mind.
See, that's why I'm doing this now. You know?
Well, I felt like such an idiot when I walked in to buy it. I'm like, yeah, I need this, and I have no idea what this is.
So I'm gonna pull it all up again. Still leaving the hairline out.
You should have texture now.
Yeah.
Suggestion. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's definitely something you learn in one class.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, if your guest hair is sturdy enough and dense enough for you to braid it without adding extensions, you can. But just know that as the hair loosens up, the extension is going to loosen up too. So I like to always add extension or hair additions, like synthetic hair, to my cornrows, so that way it can last longer. Is that right?
Yes, it makes it stronger, yes. Definitely with straight hair. If you're working with straight hair, you definitely need to add some type of textured hair in when you
So
braid it.
how often do
so
they
it
have to
lasts.
get these refreshed?
It depends upon how fast they loosen up. Because if you, let's just say with your hair, if we were to do that to your hair and you shampoo 2 times a week, yours is going to loosen up a lot faster than me, where I only shampoo once a week.
Is shampooing the only thing that makes them loosen up?
And growth, its own natural growth.
Okay, so in cornrowing, I always cornrow really neat. I suggest that you always have a straight part when you cornrow. And that's my section, my parting. Let me see. So my section is about a 1/2 inch wide, okay? Let me see. And what I'm gonna do is just cornrow the hair going back. So I'm gonna cornrow all the hair going back till the middle, okay? So that way I could like basket weave the back of the cornrows, sew it down, and then sew the extensions on, okay? And Ms. Deborah has taught cornrow with hair addition. I have not, I've just done it. So she may have a better way of telling you how to do it, but I'm going to show you what I know. What I'm going to do is cut the hair in half. And notice I'm not using my shears or scissors. And I don't need all of this here, so I can just leave it right there. What I'm going to do is take about a 1/4 inch measure of hair. I'm going to actually split the hair into, okay? And then right at the top of my cornrow, I'm going to take out about a 1/4 inch of hair to add my hair addition in. So if you want to come a little closer, because you really can't see. So I have my hair split in 2. Okay, you want to come closer?
Excuse me?
So my extensions are split in 2, only on one side, and then I have it all solid on the other side. Then I'm going to pick up the beginning of the hair, and I'm going to intertwine them into my cornrow.
We can watch it again and again and again.
Yeah, that's true. Probably will.
And I always use tension when I cone roll. Do we have any questions so far?
Do that again.
Yeah.
I will.
And even with Caucasian hair, if you were to add extensions to like build strength with the hair, it'll still break, right? Because it's not safe to add extensions onto that type texture of hair.
You can.
You should.
And with
Yeah,
braids,
you should,
should.
especially because the
Especially
hair
with
has
straight hair. You should.
a lot of slip to it.
So if you should. have
Yeah.
to add the
Yes.
braided hair.
Because if you don't, then it's going to be hard for it to, the extensions to adhere to
Yeah. And last.
the cornrow.
So you want the cornrows real tiny or real?
I like my cornrows small, like about a 1/4 inch, only because I need it to not be so bulky. And that's just how I do it. I know some people that will do 6 big cornrows going straight back and just sew it on your head. But when I cornrow, it's like you can actually wear your cornrows after you take out your braids or before. I just like to braid it in a pattern and not have it so loose.
You have to sleep with something on your head to keep these things. I'm thinking about how I look when I wake up naturally, and if I had all that in my.
This hair
Be a
normally
nightmare.
behaves better than our own hair.
Okay.
Yeah. It holds a curl
You know
better.
how the geishas sleep
Okay,
on those
so
breasts? I'm thinking like
Or
you
you
have
have to sleep like
That's
this.
how, yeah, you gotta sleep.
I'm going to finish braiding
It's okay.
the hair all the way
Just
down.
do this. Don't shampoo it and go to bed with it
Have like all
wet.
this fancy hair, they're like, I guess
Like
like
this
this
on the
on
way
or
over there.
whatever.
Get it together.
I hear some horror stories.
I wake
Make
up,
sure
I look
that-
like Edward Scissorhands when I wake up.
Because what I'm going to do is basket weave it. So when I braid the other side, I'm going to crisscross it.
That's it.
and how will you put it back onto the other cornrow? Like,
I won't. I'm going to put this in between the partings. So on the other, I'll braid the other side so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay.
You're just gonna hear my conversation. I mean, you got really dumb it down.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Are we gonna do like a silhouette of this part?
I probably have to do a mini class for you on that.
Oh, I thought not in that. I just want to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I probably can do a mini class on that.
I'm going to move closer when she starts the other
And do
side.
you believe that there are different patterns for different hair types, like different, like say you add like straight extensions or curly, would you do a different pattern or?
It's just how you sew it in. To me, I don't have a specific way to braid the hair unless I'm having a part, like a side part, or if they don't want a part at all, probably just braid it in a circle. So that way I could have a nice firm base to sew the hair around in a circle. But as far as density of the hair, yes, you'll have to definitely know how to braid the hair in a certain pattern so that way you won't cause breakage and that you have enough hair to like sew the weft on.
Because if somebody has, let's say somebody has hair your length, okay, your length, and they want to wear a very short cut, and they want to get their hair sewn in. Hair that length, you're gonna have to take small braids and braid that hair around in a coil, around and around and around, till you have this long braid left over, and then you just kind of maneuver that and sew that down. But somebody with real short hair, that's no problem braiding that hair down. You don't have to worry about, as much hair. But there are a lot of people who wear extensions, but they have a lot of hair. They just don't want to deal with their own hair because extension hair
Taking a
holds the
1/4
style
inch
better. It holds the
section.
curl better. It holds the style better, longer.
All the way around to the back. So what I just said to Galina is that I'm taking a 1/4 inch section all the way around to the back of the hair, or the back of the head.
For the hairline?
I'm leaving the hairline out already.
Can we take that poster down so we can see in the mirror?
Sure.
Oh, it was for us for the weekend, for Friday.
This is exciting and scary at the same time. Is it easier to braid it whenever it's natural or whenever it's relaxed?
Either or for me, I don't have a preference. Sometimes it's hard for other people to cornrow the hair that has a lot of texture, like extra curly hair, because the hair is so tight. You would definitely feel it in your fingers and wrists afterwards. But for me, I don't have a preference.
Can you tell us about the difference between the synthetic hair and the real hair? Does it make a difference when you're doing this, or I don't understand.
As far as braiding it in, or the width?
In general, I don't know.
Okay, synthetic hair is just made out of fibers. They're flammable. They could burn. Feel it? It's plastic.
Oh yeah, that's definitely plastic.
Okay.
Barbie hair.
And then your human hair, this is definitely not 100% like virgin human hair. This is yaki hair from belly of a yak. Very inexpensive. It still curls.
Yeah, feels like mine.
Okay. So it's not flammable. So it won't burn as fast as your synthetic hair. Okay? And then we do have like virgin, Remy hair. That's virgin hair you can color. The cuticles is all laid in one way. You can relax the hair. You can perm the hair. So anything you want to add, Ms. Deborah?
No, that's it. Got it.
Okay.
So is it more just a personal preference?
Yes.
Costs
Because,
more.
yeah, your human hair costs a whole lot more. And your synthetic hair is cheaper, but it's shinier. So it looks like your Halloween wigs and stuff like that, when you can see you a mile away. Yeah.
But does it make a difference with how long it lasts?
Yeah, because your synthetic hair mats. It gets matted really fast, and the ends, they look like a clump of just matted hair. It won't give you a lot of movement
Can't
at
use
all.
a curling iron or a flat
No.
iron on it.
So you limit it with heat. Okay.
So the blended hair is
Human blended hair.
yeah.
It has some human hair and some synthetic hair in it. So,
It's kind of in between. Just
yeah, it's still not good, but
So
yeah.
if you were to do an entire head, like how much hair would you need?
Normally, I would need just a pack and a half, sometimes two, according to the diameter of the head. Like my daughter has an extremely big head, and so she uses 2 packs of hair. Whereas if you go into like Star Beauty, and it's like, no, you need just 1 pack of wavy hair. No, I need like 2 packs. Her head is like extremely big. Yeah.
Like Oprah?
No, her head is bigger than that.
Her head's bigger than Oprah's?
Oh, please.
Oprah's like the queen of the big heads.
So, you ever seen this cartoon called Bobby?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bobby hair was big and the feet was big, right? That's how she looked. She'll kill me.
It's on the video, just to let you know.
Okay, so with my 1/4" section, again, for the hair extension.
Okay, hold on. Show us what you're doing here.
My synthetic hair is all in one piece. I'm right-handed, so I split the hair in 2 on one side, which is on my dominant side.
Okay.
Okay? I pick up right where I'm going to start my extension addition,
Okay.
about a 1/4 inch to the part line.
Okay.
The reason for that is because I want my cornrows to start really close and not slide down to the bottom.
Mhm.
So let me give you an example. just like that cornrow right there.
Okay, very close.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm going to split the hair in two on my dominant side. I'm going to pick up about 1/4 inch of hair, and then I'm going to intertwine your guest hair into the hair addition. What's discouraging?
I don't know, I don't feel like I'll be able to do that.
That's why I got another technique for you. Okay?
That's just optional.
Yeah.
This is
No,
optional.
it's-
You don't have to do
I
this.
wanna know how to do it, it's. I just
Yeah, it's
feel
going
like
to
the
take
adding
time.
is gonna be-
But it's going to take time and a whole lot of practice.
Yeah.
So that's why I added another technique to it, because I know not everybody can cornrow. Okay?
How long did it take you to get comfortable with this?
Well, honestly, I was cornrowing since I was in, like, I was 9, 10. So I was doing it for a long time.
Mama teach you well.
My mom didn't teach me at all.
Really?
I just practiced on my baby cousin. Yeah. We didn't have videos or VCRs or anything. You just
Practice.
Yep. Okay. So of course I'm going to pick up a strand and intertwine your guest hair in the cornrow. Is it okay if I go really fast now?
Yeah.
So you use the synthetic hair just because it's cheaper and because
It's cheaper,
it's tougher.
but I had a guest that her scalp didn't like the synthetic hair. So we had to use like the human hair for braiding.
If it's
After you
itchy.
got the whole weave in?
Yeah, if it's itchy
Yeah.
like crazy, then that means that the hair doesn't agree with it.
So that was kind of where I was going with that.
You were wearing it.
Because
You would like it.
The fusion?
Yeah, she was allergic to the latex, and her whole head got blistered.
Okay, yeah. So they have to take them out.
And you walk around and then you walk around me.
$600 later.
So
I didn't want that braid to be that big, but
what you've
Yeah,
done.
because I
Trying
mean,
to
it's
get
not
it
like
in
we
so
do
I
a
can show you
preliminary
all.
patch test or anything like that. So it's like, they're lost.
Yeah.
Deborah, thread me a needle, please?
I would imagine that would be a little frustrating though to the person actually doing the braid and everything.
You like a curve needle? Yeah, I love my curve needle.
Dee Dee likes to work with a curved needle. And
Listen up, everybody, listen up.
This is the curved needle, Galena.
I'm right here.
Does anybody else have a needle different than this?
I do.
You got some?
Oops, sorry.
Okay, and then there's a straight needle, which that's the one I prefer working with. I prefer working with the straight needles. And then there's a needle that kind of is curved like that right there, that has kind of like a little curve on the end of it. Yeah, kind of J.
or hook.
It's up to you, whichever needle you use. To me, this slows me down. The only time I would use a needle like this is if it's time to close it up on top, and we want to do a closure on the top, and then you use this. But I don't like using this needle. It slows me down. I like using a straight needle. So as you work with your needle today, because this is a lot of you guys' first time doing this, so you really don't have a preference because you just don't know yet. Okay, so you're just gonna have to work with different types of needles until you find out what's best for you. This needle, like I said, slows me down. For some people, this is perfect for them. They just love it. Because you put it in there, and it automatically just curves and just pull it out.
Is it like a starter needle or something like that?
Is there such thing as a starter needle?
Yeah.
It's best to get a needle that doesn't have a point on it. This has a point on it. It's best to get a needle that has a blunt.
Okay.
You go to the arts and crafts store, the blunt type. Okay.
The reason why I have these needles is because it's cheaper. And I needed to have extra just in case you all didn't have any. So it cost me like $1 for that pack. And I know we were doing a doll, so we're not actually doing a guest, so it has a sticky point. And normally the ends are blunt, so you won't cause damage to the scalp. Okay? Yeah. And so when I try to explain the reason why it should be blunt at the end, it's like, no, I can get a quilting needle. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And it's like, yes, I can. Okay, all right, you can do that. So just to let you all know, make sure your needle has a blunt end. And no, you cannot cut the end off the needle.
Yeah, I have people that do that too.
Or grind it or anything like that?
Yeah.
I call them grind that.
I've got a question.
Question.
Like, how much money are we talking about doing this full-time?
Well,
In real salon
Go ahead.
reality?
It all depends from your salon. I wouldn't do it for any less, full head, for any less than $125.
But they gotta buy the
less
hair.
than that. They supply their own hair. If you supply the hair, then it's $125 plus what you pay for the hair. Okay, if you supply the hair. But I would not do it for anything less than $125. It's time consuming. You've gone to school for this. This is extra training. This is a luxury. This is extra. So it's got to be at least $125, at least. I don't care if you just come in and sew 4 rows of hair into somebody's hair, $125, okay? If you do a whole full head, at least $125 you can get for it easy. But I'm saying you can get $250, no problem, okay? Yeah.
How long does it take you to do an entire sewing if you were braid and do hair?
Start to finish?
Yeah.
About 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm at 4.
Okay. About
yeah,
2.5 hours.
it take me about 4
Because
hours.
braiding takes the longest for me, guys. It's hard to
It is. That's why it would be good if you had an assistant.
Yeah, I heard
Have her do the braiding, and then you sewing it in. Then by the time you finish sewing her in and cutting her and styling her, then she's ready. Another one's ready to sit
Yeah,
in
that's
your
all
chair.
I'm asking. Does the pattern, does it matter? Like, will it break down time if you were to braid differently than? Because I do like a 2Ds. That's how I break.
Two what?
2Ds, like, because I like my hair flat. 'Cause I don't have much hair, so I do it like pretty flat. But I was wondering if it's easier, like, just to do a beehive instead of like all that.
It's just according to what style you're going for. Like I said, a lot of people, I've worked in a lot of salons, and I've seen people just do 6 cornrows going straight back. You know, I don't know how long the hair lasts, but I can tell you for a fact that when I do sew-ins, I know that mine lasts up until 3 months. But I don't suggest they go any further than that. And they come in between and get shampoos, and I never have to tighten them up. Because I take my time again to cornrow my hair, and I want to make sure I give them the best deal for their money, you know?
So you recommend your clients to come back for the shampoos versus them doing it themselves?
Yeah, every 2 weeks. Or I had one of the girls, she was in the military, she came every week. Every week, every Saturday. So, and then I roller set it, wrap it, do whatever, just to make it look like theirs. Okay? So who asked the question? If I had like all the hair cornrowed, okay, I would have partings in between, okay? Then I would lay my braid in between the partings, okay, just to make it flat. Especially if you have a whole lot of hair, just to make it flat, because some people have a whole lot of hair. Say Iris, because Iris hair is natural, and if you braid her hair, it's going to be still bulky. I would braid Iris's hair straight back, and then basket weave, as they say, to put the ends of the hair into the part line. Okay, Miss Deborah, do you have the other needle right here? Okay, could you show them how to thread the needle for me?
Ready?
And another one, yeah, how to put it through and tie them out on the end.
Oh, you guys can see that?
Is it like a regular needle?
Yeah, babe.
Is it just like threading a needle?
Yeah,
Like a needle?
pretty much,
Okay.
and putting it out on
Yeah,
the
the
end.
reason why I like to show, because not everybody.
Sews.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to measure it the length of your arm. The thread should be the length of your arm. And you're going to double it. You're going to cut. The reason being, so when you pull back, it's not like way back here, okay? It's your arm's length. It's your arm's length, okay? And so we're going to thread our needle. I'm glad these have big eyes in them. Thread the needle. And then just a knot on the end.
Why the one with the holes? I want y'all to have the one with the holes in it.
Okay, knock 2 ends together.
So it's a knot, and then just cut off the excess. And it's good to have several needles ready, too, if you're doing a sew-in. A lot of times I make my clients work, and I say, okay, thread this needle for me. Arm's length. Arm's length, yeah.
Still $125.
And so you're going to sew it in, you're going to sew it in, she's going to show you how to sew it in. So when it gets down to about maybe this much thread left, you might as well go ahead and just let that be the last. You're going to tie it in 4 knots, and then you'll cut it. I like to cut tie it off in about 4 knots before I just cut the thread off, but we'll get to that part right there, so that it doesn't unravel.
Okay, so here it is. My ends in the back, I am going to, I think I need to stand on this side. Come around this way. Okay, so I'm going to put the ends of the hair into the part line, okay? And I have my curved needle. I'm just going to go through the braid.
And does it matter where you really start? Like, does it?
I always start maybe about 2 inches away from the end of the braid. And right now I'm going to do a lock stitch. So that way I can secure the hair on, okay? So what I'm going to do, I have a loop, and I'm going to pull my needle through the loop, and that came straight up. Do it again.
Do you put the needle in the middle part of the hair or the top part of the hair?
In the middle.
Middle to bottom or middle to top?
Why did it come out?
Because I pulled it too hard.
Oh.
Say it again.
Middle to bottom or middle to top?
I did it middle to middle. And it doesn't really matter to me, I don't think. I don't know if Ms. Deborah has a preference.
You mean as far as where you tuck the needle?
Yeah, like you
Does it go up under the braid? Does it go through the braid? That was talking about?
Yeah, would you like me to pull it through the middle?
Go through here, go through the braid again. And then there's my loop.
Yeah. I probably don't braid.
Okay, there's my loop.
You can make me loop.
And then I'm going to pull the needle through the loop.
So you do that every time?
Not every time. Sometimes you do a rounded stitch, which is your overcast stitch. Some of you have the sheets right there. And I noticed that it's in your Milady's books as well. But I like to do lock stitching only because it secures the braid. And also when you do your weft, it secures the weft. But I don't do lock stitching throughout the entire weaving session.
No.
What was the question?
That was
the
it.
question? Okay.
You don't lock stitch every time you go?
No.
Just the start and the end?
Right.
Okay.
So I'm lock stitching now.
How do you get all this out of the hair?
Huh?
Like you just cut one in and pull it, it's gonna pull all the way through, it's not gonna be like knotted up in there?
What?
When you take it out?
Oh, no, you just
the
cut
thread.
it. You just cut the thread. Oh, you just cut it.
Get a
The
friend.
removal process,
Can you go back through it one more time, Ms. Lee, so I can see it?
the lock stitch. Yeah. All you have to do is just snip it.
Find one piece and
Yeah.
snip it home.
Cut it, pull it. All right, here we go. Lock stitching. Gonna go through the braid. I have a loop. My needle is going to go through the loop, and then I'm going to pull. There is something called a double lock stitch. Huh? Yeah. Okay. I have one lock. I'm going straight back through the same section, and I'm going to then put my needle through the thread.
So it's a lock on top of a lock, basically.
Yep. And then my rounded stitch is just, once I get closer to the end, and again, the rounded stitch is just your overcast stitch. It's just going to go around. You're not going to go through the thread or anything, just around. Can you see that? My thread is here, and my needle is opposite of the thread. Can you all see?
Kind of, yeah.
Thread. You can get closer. I promise I put on deodorant.
No,
Okay. And the reason why I would do a rounded stitch is to make the extensions flatter. Okay.
So the professional word is definitely extensions and not weaving.
Yes. Okay. So we have our locking or stitching down, right? And I probably have to show you over and over again. So I'm going to put this hair away. just gonna put that needle right there. And since I'm already on the side, I'm going to show you how to add the extensions in. Please do not wrap your weft around your neck. Okay?
Or skirt.
Right.
And it's a weft, not a track.
Weft or track.
You could use
What do
either
you
or.
prefer?
Weft, I'll say weft, and I'll say track, in between. Because I'm gonna keep saying weft, 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 weft. You know,
Weft
it's
is a weird word.
in between, weft and track. Okay. So right at the beginning of my braid, this is where I'm going to start my extension, okay? But I'm not going to start sewing the hair at the end of the weft, okay? Going to make sure my thread and needle is even. And I'm going to actually poke my needle through the weft so that way I can secure it. There is a little loop right there on the thread. Can you see it?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it.
I'm
There it
actually
is.
going to put my needle through that loop, locking it. Okay. So again, I'm going to start about a 1/2 inch away from the end of the braid. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now I'm going to put my needle through the braid, and then I'm going to, right where I started the threading for the sew-in, I'm going to put my needle through the weft. Okay? I don't know if because you're videoing me, I'm nervous. I don't know. Okay? So, my needle is going to still go through, can you see it?
Yep.
My weft.
How much spacing you're supposed to have between each stitch?
I normally have like a 1/2 inch. Sometimes people have an inch in between, but I like mine a 1/2 inch because I like it to last a little bit longer. So right now I'm going to do a lock stitch, whereas my needle is going to go through the loop. So my needle is through the braid and through the weft. Pull it through and do a lock stitch. Then as I get closer to the end, I'm going to do a rounded stitch so that way my extensions will lay flat. So when I do a rounded stitch, I'm not going through the weft, I'm just going through the braid and under the weft.
Through just the hair?
I'm
But
going
when
through
you
the
first started it, you went through it.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have a zoom on that, so you can stand back and like zoom
The
in.
rounded
Yeah,
will
but
make
it gets
flatter,
really fuzzy.
and then I'll do a lock
It's
at the
zoomed
end.
in already. I
So
think.
that way I
Kinda
can
might, like, with,
secure it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know, like my was really seeing.
Wait a minute, I have a question.
I don't know.
You can see it pretty good from back there.
Yeah.
That's for my locking. And then when I do rounded, I go through the braid under the weft. Through the braid under the weft. Through the braid under the weft. And then I lock it at the end to secure it. So now I'm at the end. So I'm going to continue to do a rounded stitch. I'm going through the braid under the wet. Can you see that?
So you're not actually going through that.
Nope, I'm going through the braid under the wet.
Okay.
Is it bad if you go through the wet?
No, but it makes it flatter. So now what I'm going to do is do a locking. So right now I have my loop, and then my needle is going to go through my loop just to secure.
But you said when you lock, you go through the wet then.
Yes.
And why did you start, you said like 1.5 inches back, then you went forward? Why?
So that way I could secure it and it won't be so bulky, and it doesn't stress the hair at the hairline. So when you're tugging and pulling and locking and stitching, then you're doing a whole lot right here, and it's dangling, the hair's dangling from the front of the braid, where the braid just started. Yeah, and it's gonna like damage the hair. Ms. Deborah?
Yes, it could cause traction alopecia.
But don't you?
What does that mean?
That tension alopecia